3x3, and yeah, so we will get a 3x3 set up. It is fully set up right now. We've got it on, operational, and in full effect. So we actually just planted these things today. They were clones that we were using for other purposes, and I went ahead and took them, washed them out of the medium that I had planted them in originally, which was cocoa, and put them in here this right away. What's up, Bearded? How you doing, homie? From what I understand, these guys might be joining us in-house here pretty soon. I'm not positive on that, but one of our associates is trying to make sure we've got something lined up, and I got this perfect space for these guys to hang out, and I got a couple of derby cars we're going to be entering, so hell yeah, homie. Dustin, thanks for joining us. So yeah, well, this season on the 10 is just going to be training, stretching. We're going to do 4 plants, and we're going to show you how to actually build a canopy and get a yield. But we'll get back to that. Tonight, we're actually going to discuss some new terpenes. That's what we've been doing lately. Helping us get you guys more interested in knowing more about these plants other than just how ripped they get you, because, you know, dude, I sit around all day and get blazed, and I stay pretty high, so it's what tastes good, what smells good, and what hits you right. Tonight we'll be covering Valencine, we will be covering the Borneol, and the Eucalyptol. Yeah, that's pretty much where we're going to be going. But don't forget, we're going to bring back the tent time and all that wonderful stuff. You know, we dab down a bit, we smoke a little bit, you know. Let's just light one up and we'll get ready to get started, guys. So, Valencine. This one, really, really nice one. It's got one of the sweet citruses. So again, there's a lot of profiles that overlap. So you know, again, that's what the terpenes and all the lab results are great for, is to help us get these diagnosed. And you'll see why by the time we get to this next terpene, because this one is a really interesting one. But anyway, Valencine is used as an anti-inflammatory and anti-allergenic. So it's great if you're one of those people who has an allergy to certain things, such as pinene. This would help you probably quite well in that wheelhouse. Things like ice cream cakes, OG Cushes, things like a moto bread, things like a gelato. Whether it's the actual gelato flour or any of these flours, or just their rosins, their hash rosins, things in that wheelhouse. So, yeah, it's quite a nice one. You know, I've seen these used in like creams, topicals before. I still use the Mrs. Bearded Buds topical that I have. I've been, you know, doing that myself, and you know, hopefully they've seen some love from our side of town because of that. But anyway, you know, they go really, really good as far as, you know, taking care of those things. These are, you know, there's going to be other terpenes in there that can help you with anxiety and other stuff, but when you are looking, certainly the concentrate world, you can find concentrates that are narrowed down into these terpenes, which is really, really awesome. So, you know, moving on, we've got the Borneol. This one's like that minty smell. So the Kush mint stuff, I mean, I've seen a lot of things. Some Gorillas got that real good mint profile, which I freaking absolutely love. And so, let me see, I'm sure I got another one over here. So the strains like Headspace, which would be a headband crossed with like Space Cake. So again, they by combining these strands and crossbreeding and creating new genetics, we come up with some of these really, really amazing, unique terpenes that will help suit us much, much better. Which is why when we do our pre-rolls and things like that, they always come out as house mixes. We can do single flavors, but typically I like doing the house blend. You get a nice mix of like 6 or 7, 8, even 9 different profiles all inside one. And you know, they definitely do the trick in that wheelhouse. So something like Borneol, this can be used as like an anti-inflammatory. It's good for pain relief. It helps your vision. But the really cool thing about this, and this is a big ass word, and I had to look it up and say this thing like 100 times before I even started this, because this shit was gonna mess me up. Antinociceptive. Right? Antinociceptive. Big ass word. Basically, what it means, it's a process in which it blocks the detection of painful injuries by you know, interrupting that flow to the sensory neurons. so it can actually help you alleviate pain. Um, just as a profile all by itself. Really, really good for uh, helping that kind of thing. So I'm going to be looking for this later because, earlier this week I decided I was going to go ahead and destroy my back doing, I don't know, probably waking up. That's what happens to, people my age now. I get a little old and I fucking fall apart. But it's okay. It only takes me a couple of days and I bounce back. That's the best part about it all. I still feel like a kid. So you guys may see this banner scrolling above my head. I'm pretty sure you know what to do. We want you guys to text into this number. You will be given a number between 1 and 24. At the end of the show, we will spin this wonderful wheel behind my head, and one of those numbers will actually end up with something special from us tonight. I believe we will be showcasing one of the products here in a little bit. I'm waiting for the results back from the lab. I should have them by tomorrow is what I'm expecting. So, stay tuned, and we'll get into what your prize is here in a moment. Well, actually, we could probably talk about some of this Nova OG right now before we get onto our final profile. Our final profile is a nice, easy one. Should be pretty quick to get through. So, tonight's prize is this Nova OG right here. So, Nova OG is absolutely wonderful. I can't wait to get what it comes back as. The moment this came to me, I was absolute heaven. Premium dense super rock hard. No, see, can we get a close-up shot on this one real quick? I got a desk cam on there. I believe we've got a super mega close-up. You see all those wonderful trichomes, that milky to start to amber. That's really what's going to get you pepped up and going. So you'll be, you'll have some giggle and some euphoria out of this. Yet it has a structure of like an indica-based plant. So just in general, this one's super freaking nice. This one was compliments of one of our associates that was in our previous group. So this comes from the grower himself. And we're going to load up this little baby bong because I still have not brought my big full-size bong to the office yet. Don't ask me why. I have no idea. I'm like, oh, I got weed there. But of course, I've got weed. I've got baby bong. This is what everybody else likes to use. I need my, big, 2-footer, 18-inch bad boy. That's the Mammy Jammy, my giant beaker bottom. This thing, it feels like a toy. Maybe I'll put this on a derby car and race that down the track. We'll just strap wheels on it. Is this regulation? I don't know. So you hear me talk about derby cars, it's because an associate of or somebody that we know, Bearded Buds, runs another group Saturday mornings and a couple other times during the week where they race derby cars down a track, like in real life. But they give you the opportunity to be that car racer. And they do this for different prizes themselves, so it's pretty freaking sweet. I linked up with them a long time ago. It's like Mario Kart races or something like that. Again, if I'm being too vague, but seriously, if they're cool with it, we'll drop a link on our page after the end of this so other people can absolutely find that if they haven't heard about this or seen this yet. These guys are freaking hilarious. They've got like Yoshi costumes that they're wearing, and then they get ripped and race Mario Karts. I mean, holy shit! If I wasn't so busy Saturday morning with 4 kids, I'd be sitting there every damn day. Like, for real, there were a few days, maybe 2 weeks back to back, I was able to be in the group, and I even got picked, to be one of the car. My homie Ronnie got picked to be one time. We got a dude in our group, Ricky Bobby, who's gotten picked a few times. Dude, this community that they've done, we've got a handful of crossover people from here. But anyway, these guys are freaking crazy. So they race these carts down the track, and you win prizes. I didn't win. But, dude, here your name called and being on the leaderboard and some homemade NASCAR boxwood derby track stuff is wicked wild. So, absolutely, we'll add a tag into that later on in the show. But anyway, this Nova OG, obviously, has got my ass talking a little bit. I got all distracted. Man, this one's nice. Very, very nice terpene profile. Super stony feeling, but like quite alert. It's a rather nice one. I'm thoroughly enjoying this one. So anyway, back to the task at hand, because then we go and jump into 10 time. So if you see the number scrolling, text in, get yourself a number between 1 and 24, first 24 on the wheel. You guys can potentially win the 8th of this Nova OG just for hanging out with me. So, last profile we're going to discuss is eucalyptol. Eucalyptol sounds a lot like eucalyptus, doesn't it? It sure does, and that's, you know, kind of where we get this profile from. This is a very minty profile as well. It will come, you know, be fragrant on the nose as a heavy mint. So you're not, you know, when you notice that bag aroma, you're like, it smells fresh. Well, is it fresh or is it mint? Because there's some confusion in that world as well, what a mint strain smells like. London Pound Cake has quite a known nose for this particular terpene, where it's got that minty smell. And guess what? I've acquired one of those. That's actually in the 3x3 that we'll get to here in a little bit. So we've got one of these London Pound Cakes growing. We'll see in about 10 weeks, London Pound Cakes. So this one, you can use it as an antibacterial, antifungal, pain relief. It's even been used in Alzheimer's patients to try and help them gain that sort of, or lessen that sort of thing in your elderly family. So if you're looking for somebody who maybe would like to try alternative medicine or medication in that wheelhouse, you can get something that has a profile heavy in this, and its potential to help them out and give them, you know, maybe an edible. Maybe they're not keen on smoking. I know my grandma won't smoke, but last time I saw her, she hit Daddy up for some gummies and everything else, you know. We've been making these my whole life. It was like, no, that's bad. You're going to throw your family off a piano bench and kick them out a window. And I'm like, it's weed. But, you know, now the world has seen things differently, and even the previous generations that were more or less, you know, manipulated into believing that this was something super dangerous and you should be afraid, very, very afraid, we're not in that category anymore. So, again, this is, you know, because my family and some of my older family have some of this, I should probably talk to them more about using some of this terpene profile in some of the food that they enjoy. So that's why we like going through these, because even I don't know these by heart. I'm learning them with you, because again, I haven't met too much, you know, weed with THC in it that doesn't get me super stoned. The difference is, how does it make me feel? So when it comes to that, you know, you can find these terpene profiles, you know, you can find general ones online, but all of our plants, as they come out, we do our best to have every single one of them tested, so you guys will get the best knowledge you have at hand to try and target things you're looking for yourself. And you know, it's great. You know, the more you know, the better we can help anybody who has previously not understood this. And by that I mean, you know, there are people, previous generations, who were told this was absolutely horrible, you know, but last time I checked, I know a lot more people addicted to pharmaceutical drugs and painkillers than I do addicted to weed. But we all like to smoke a joint, but, you know, will my edge be a little closer? Probably. But am I going to go into the shakes, convulsions, anything else if I'm not medicated? Absolutely not. And then, you know, recreational-wise, it's absolutely wonderful to the T, you know. I take it with breakfast, different means of consumption. I'll take butter, infuse butter, and smear it on some toast or an English muffin and go down like that path in the morning. That's always a wonderful way to start your day. Glass of orange juice, a cup of hot coffee, and, you know, getting ripped off of Thomas's English muffin edible. I'm not that Thomas, but I'm a Thomas. But TJ, please, thank you. Guys, we're at a point where it's time to let's hit this tent. Let's discuss some hydroponics, people. All right, we'll be right back. See you in a second. What's up, guys? And so, like I said, we did you a full hydro general grow last time, start to finish, for plants, which is our Virginia. I thought was originally the Virginia legal limit. Apparently, that's per adult in your household, so you were allowed to have as many plants as you have adults in your household, 4 plants each. So, what we are in my studio. Technically, I'm the only one who's here. So, these are mine for the studio's purposes, and we're going to walk you through this one today. This, what you see before you here, is actually my very first hydro tray when I was like, 17, 16 years old. I've kept it all this time for nostalgia, and look what it turned into. It's still going to turn out something beautiful. What you're looking at is everybody's been in a solo cup for like 3 to 4 weeks, so they've gotten stretchy and leggy, and what we're going to do is use that to our advantage in this case. So as you can see, I've lowered the trellis net really low on here, and we're going to do some heavy training on this. So as these plants grow, which I'm going to say about 2, maybe 3 weeks, we should have all these branches woven around through this low trellis net, and then we'll be ready to flip our light cycle. So what we have in here is a Platinum Kush Breath. We have a Jungle Sunset, which is a Jungle Boys cut. We have a Gucci Breath, and the Designer Runs. Maybe I don't have the. Man, see, look at me. I thought I had the other one in here, and I had this one in here. I do have London Pound Cake in one of the other locations that we do have. Don't worry, that one is on schedule, the same pretty much that these are, only in a different grow environment. But for this set of grows, we're going to teach you guys about hydroponics. So, this is a standard ebb and flow flood tray. I use it a little differently. You'll see people who actually put Grodan blocks in here, and they just put a plant Grodan block and stack it around. I've seen them covered like that. I have a lot of trouble with that method, and not like just getting them to finish, but like algae builds up on the Grodan. So I've taken Grodan out of the situation. I don't. I actually just take the Hydrogen rocks, and I've tried other brands of material. Arclight actually talked to us. We did a test run with a DWC and Arclight. Did not work so well. So what am I doing? I'm still using Hydrogen. Basically expanded clay pebbles. That's great stuff. You do have to wash it before you use it. So how I use it is I take my top flood tray and I fill that up with a line of Hydrogen. There's an overflow valve in the bottom, and there's a fill valve and drain in the bottom that's got a gasket on it. Those things are the way this table will fill up. It'll never overflow. We set this thing to cycle for 15 minutes, even though that seems like a lot of time. They are in nothing for the rest of the time. Maybe a couple little channels of water in the bottom and a bit of moisture that's on there. What you're doing is training the roots to actually stretch out, use the dry time for them to grow and get bigger and better. So, what I'm doing here is we've got this trellis trained low. I've got all the main branches pulled to the sides. As they get a little taller, I'll continue to train them around until this level is fully green, and there is next to no growth underneath that has not hit this canopy and lined up and started leaving. Then we'll trigger the light cycle, which means flipping this from an 18-hour day cycle to a 12-hour day cycle. What that's going to do is trigger the plant's photo period and actually produce the flowers that we all love and enjoy. So, we're just going to see how fast this actually grows. This is one of the faster growing methods of full hydroponics. There are plenty of ways to do it, whether it's DWC, I've seen constant drips, I've seen aeroponics where it's just big channels of piping with a air blowing fit or a nutrient misting fitting in the bottom and staked under each plant. They work great for heads of lettuce. I've tried them with these kind of plants. They got massive roots. It didn't work so well. Even using all sorts of high-end products, those kind of systems just didn't work out well. So I always found tried and true here when it comes to hydro. These things will never leave you stranded. DWC, sometimes you need to add a lot more oxygen depending on your temperatures of your space. Again, keeping your reservoir out of the actual grow space in a more conditioned environment will help with that. These plants want to be treated like it's summertime, so what do? We get the inside temps with these plants in the mid-80s. That's what they want. These are grow through the summertime season, cool them off in the winter. So for the general time, We run these rooms, or I try to run these rooms around 85 degrees with the LEDs. That's how the plants seem to respond the best to it. And they do like their humidity a little bit higher. So these started off as rough transplants. Into here, these were rinsed today. So today is officially like they've been in here for not even 6 hours. So everybody's tagged with labels of who they are, and so we are going to start that trading program. What is going on here is I have the clone that I put in here in straight into the hydroton and buried the root mass, and now that's that. The reservoir, on the other hand, let's talk about nutrients. I'm going to use the general hydroponic formula for this one, a general 3-part. I'm going to throw a couple of other things into it as well, nothing too crazy, but I'm going to give you guys the whole formula right here. So basically, for this first round, we're going to do a 3-2-1 recipe. 3 parts grow, 2 parts micro, 1 part bloom while we are in the vegetative state. I'm also adding CalMag and a silica product. So basically, after you do the multiplier, this is a 30-gallon reservoir. Instead of actually doing their first week as hydro at 30 gallons, I make this that 3-2-1 recipe for 25 gallons. This way, they start off at a lower dosage. They will slowly acclimate to the higher dosage as you move on. So after 7 days, this water will be changed out completely. I'll take this, I'll put this in my outside garden. There's no reason to throw any of it away. It's not bad water, it's just we're going to keep these guys on a fresh cycle, 7-day cycle. That's the easiest way to do it. Before the end of the series, you'll see a marker board on the wall here, which is where we will actually keep track of which weeks we are, the formula we're using. So if you guys want to follow along at home and try to be successful with these, we can at least give you a nice basic recipe and give you general understanding. So water down there has the air stones in it. That water is mixed out to 1,500 parts per million. That's strong. This is General Hydro. These guys are pretty well established on small root bases, so they're going to take a nice big hit at first, and they'll probably not even be too bad once they get acclimated to the hydroton. From there, we'll max out maybe around 2,200 ppm. This is on the 1,500 scale, not the 400 scale, 500 scale. I have to look. Again, I run the higher numbers. It's just what I've always ran them on. I'm starting to see a lot of companies come out with lower numbers, and they're doing great. So Current Culture happens to be one of those. They're a bit pricey, but they have their own system and everything. So as far as running it in this, maybe they'll work, maybe, I mean, I'm sure they'll work, but, you know, they have something designed for their product. So their nutrient, their product, their system, pretty awesome if you have the pockets for it. This whole general system right here, all in all, is probably a whopping $1,000. This whole, we've got a Mars FC 4800, we've got a 3x3 flood table, we've got a 3x3 tent for this thing, the fan and filter up there, you know, AC Infinity and fat filters, PHAT, those things are absolutely awesome. Some of them you can even swap your carbon on them. So, but anyway, basic recipe, low end of manufacturer specs on all the other products. To get it built this way, if this water ends up being too strong, you can always add a little bit more. So I start with about 1 inch below the res, test it. If that thing came up at like 2,000, that'll give me a wiggle room. I could probably put another 5 gallons in there and get that washed back down before I actually adjust the pH. So anyway, these guys are fed on a 4 times a day, with an hour of the sun coming up for 15 minutes, and then in 4-hour increments throughout the day. None overnight. No water overnight. I don't know why. That's just how I've always done it. I've always been taught that. I've been shown that from people. It's, you don't water at night. This is automated. I know, I guess you can. But in a system like this, I was always just told just flood it at night. As these plants start to grow and mature, the canopy will actually block off the top surface of the light to the roots down here. They'll actually create their own sort of covering, and by the end, you'll start to see roots actually creeping up on the surface of this pan. It's actually pretty cool. This whole thing will look bonsai between the point once it's fully canopied out. Then we'll flip the light cycle, stretch to another trellis to just hold those points that came up. And then we'll see. This should probably do a pretty damn good yield out of these 4 little plants, especially using generals, which again, very inexpensive, easy to use, you know. it's a great way to start your walk into hydroponics. As far as anything else goes, you know, your system you choose it based on what you can afford. There are DWC buckets as low as 20 bucks, 30 bucks. There's some expensive ones if your budget's bigger. Do what you can afford. This light this intense isn't even that necessary. This is just something we had laying around, and so we brought it in here for this purpose here. The last time we grew in here, we used the original light that came with the 5x5 for the last room, which was a Blue Plus. We would call this a 4,000 water. So this panel light is what used to run in this tent and flower. I don't know if this light, I'm going to give this light one more chance before I say my real thoughts on it, but this light has shown that it can do the damn thing. So for an inexpensive budget light, you can always go with Mars Hydro. If you have a healthy budget for your light, there's some incredible brands out there, Gavita, but one of the big ones I believe is the iLogic brand. So if you have not heard of them or seen them, feel free to check them out. They've got some monstrosities. I've seen them in action in a couple of facilities. They really, really are a nice light. So I have 4 of their brand new ones that they just came out with the Far UV on their way to my studio. And we'll be running them inside of a room, and with those we are going to run them against the similar Mars Hydros, the similar Spider Farms, and the similar, which will be a 1,000 HPS dual ended. With that, we will send all the same exact builds. We'll send all of those flowers on their own as different batches, and we will see actually what had the most terpenes, what had the most potency, before we make a big purchase and buy a butt ton of these lights to fit out one of our facilities. Licensing will be coming through soon, and once that comes, we're bringing nothing but premium hydroponic and or cannabis to our local community in full. So as we grow, you guys can grow with us. If you need these formulas, I'm happy to get them out to you. We will also post those after the show. So, basically, these particular cuts, the reason that these were chose, these are actually nothing that I cultivated myself. These all came from a different breeder that I know who was selling some clones and of his breeding stock. So, when I saw these come available, especially the Platinum Kush Breath, because I've seen that Platinum Kush Breath in action, I was pretty stoked to get it, as well as the Designer Run strains. These are those strains you guys can look up on Leafly. You find them, in other areas that are more recreational or more medical. You can find these exact flowers in those stores. I just had enough friends that were willing to help me get my hands on these kind of cuts. So we are going to start bringing these to you guys here in Virginia. So yeah, other than that, if you guys have any questions, feel free to message us or drop a comment, and we'll give you a chat after this goes down, and we'll get back with you. All right, we'll see you in a bit.
Echoes of Time, Costumes and Vintage Clothing is located at 600 North Witch Duck Road, Suite 102 in Virginia Beach.
Alright, my Gromies. So, as you can see, that tent right there, we're going to go ahead and do the same like we did with the last one. We have a camera in it. We're going to get that fitted on the Twitch account. You guys can live stream that 24/7. Anytime you want to see it, see what's going on, watch its progress. This is our best way of being able to get you to fully understand how canopy growth is measured. I hear a lot of per plant, this, that, and the other, and we can go that route if you spec your plants correctly to the size. You do a lot of lollipopping, but now we're going to go ahead and do canopy growth, which is what I was discussing with you at the end of last grow in there. By the way, the last grow was a 5x5. This is a 3x3, much different system. Basically, the equivalent light that we did in that big tent, we've got the smaller setup as well. This is a 3x3 full build out. And again, my little hydro tray from frack. I mean, we're talking the early 2000s at this point. I always did soil for the longest time. You know, started outside, backyard stuff with the plants, and really evolved into the growing by about 2001-ish is when I really got into the indoor growing scene. And, you know, dirt is always a great way to retain maximum terpenes, but when you start getting into indoor grows that try to avoid soils, they bring pests, they bring a lot of different issues. If they were stored at an outside facility after the packager made them, cleaned them, and got them inside and wrapped up, I don't know, I've just seen a lot of different things. Even manufacturers that, you know, came out years ago and were great, now that this past season or last season we saw that, you know, there's a couple products I wouldn't even use because there were some rough bugs found inside the mix as the bags were being opened. So, anyway, again, we've caught some new vendors, Elevate Genetics. We've got your 3-pack special coming out if you guys need packs of any seeds. We've got them in full fem line and their autoflowers. So if you need something autoflower, if you're still growing outside, I've got a handful of packs for you guys to catch before the season's out to make sure that you will not miss out on one more season here in Virginia. We stay warm enough, you guys can harvest your autoflowers late into the season. As far as photo period plants, basically anything you put out starting within the next few weeks is going to start to turn itself already. You still have at least another good week or two before that light cycle is really dropped. If you guys have been watching the evenings, they've been coming a lot earlier. I say a lot, like shit. It's dark at 8:30. Damn it! Why is it still dark at 8:30? You know, but hey, we're on the East Coast. We love our beach. I want to be hanging out on the ocean until, you know, the sun sets, and then get the fuck out of that thing because there are sharks in that water. All right. So, as far as all that stuff goes, you know, if you need seeds, anything like that, we've got you covered. We've still got a full line of ready-to-go plants for all of our local orders. We even landed our first shipped one, and it came out great. So far, so good. It has recovered nicely. I'll see about getting a check-in with that gentleman to post a photo of how that's going at this point. So, again, we've extended our market, so if you guys now have friends outside of our normal 7 days, our 6-day service area, you can now catch us in the red on Saturdays. Please get any orders in against the website, iGrow-va.com, by Friday 5 p.m. to ensure that your order will get to you on Saturday if you are in those red zones. So, we've got all sorts of great things going on. We've got this set up now with that as we do. We're going to be working on a few other setups locally. They will be much bigger spaces than a 3x3. We will start showing you some of the footage locally that we're coming across and things we're seeing. Don't forget that if you're seeing this, you can always text in still and get your name on that list. 1 entry per person. But once the list is full, you can take that off. So, with this page here with the page that we are publishing this on Facebook right now, this is the public page. So, if you are an active member in this group, an active member in the things that we do and we share, and we are happy to add you to the VIP page. The VIP page is where all the active members see. We will start dropping a weekly coupon code in those things, I believe, come this Monday coming up. We've been discussing this with the team. So that will be to all of the members on the VIP page only. You guys will see that code. You'll get to use it at checkout in the online store. So, Nova OG. Look at me. I'm lighting joints and I'm still packing ball heads because, you know, that's just what I do to myself some days. So, let's go back to Nova OG, because I really want one of you guys to have an eighth in this one. But hey, what are you smoking in that joint? Oh, this was some more of that Gorilla Hands. This shit turned out fire. The thank you Tarantula Genetics and Travis, because this one right here is my finished Gorilla Hands. I didn't even bring a nugget with me. I don't know what the hell is wrong with me some days. And I told you I was gonna send you those pics. I'll send you finished pictures. They came out very, very nice. They were some of the frostiest flowers that I had seen recently on a plant. It was so resinous that the fan leaves were actually glistening. Like, it was very, very unique. One of them I tried to do a pinch and fold on to get the lower branches to come up, and it ended up splitting the main branch into two, right at the pinch point. And so now, it's folded over, the branch heals itself, but instead of healing back together, folded over, with just a standard knot, it literally doubled itself out and came back together, so there was a hole in the branch like this. And then as it grew back together, it flattened itself out, this branch, and grew like a square shape. And all of the nodes started growing on one side. It was pretty crazy. I actually have some photos of it in my phone, and you know, I'll post a couple of those later. It was pretty interesting. This is the only time I've ever seen this, and I've been pinching and folding branches for quite some time. And you know, to see this branch go fold over, I've seen them split open and heal back together, but I've never seen them heal back together and then flatten out. It was just very, very interesting to see that go down that way. So, back to this Nova ball game again. We got some other cool things coming up. Like I said, the Boulder Vape Company, we're about to grab a handful of their stuff. We'll be submitting. The forms have already actually been submitted. We're just waiting to hear back from their department, and then our first order is placed. I don't know if you guys have seen these things, these Boulder vapes. Super discreet. The battery, like, it's basically instantaneous heat. From the time you click it, you can basically click it and bring the unit to your mouth and start blasting a hit. And it's just a really nice unit. They use a new battery technology it's basically like all the I'm gonna say the way the newer power tools are, where you got full power all the way to that last shot, then they're done. I use that as a reference why I used to build houses. Anyway, we're not building houses anymore. Now we're just building grow spaces and getting those things right, because this is where I want to be at. I need to be surrounded by foliage and green plants and trees and smiles. Like, that makes the world go around, you know. Those grumpy people, they can keep themselves. I'm gonna stay here and smile my ass off. So. Ooh, Nova, you. Ooh. Dang, yeah. I'm gonna be smoking on this one for the next few days. I know I am. And whoever's gonna win that tonight will absolutely love that. I'll tell you that much. What's up, Tina? Thanks for being here, Jennifer. And Jennifer. Hey, guys. Man, that's got that sweet minty on it. I can't wait to get the lab results in on this one. That's all I'm saying. That one I'm looking forward to. We are just about there. Jennifer, what's going on, girl? And my love Tracy out there. Which one? What was that? Ooh, happy birthday tomorrow, Jennifer. Sorry, I bet the thing over there is too far for me to read. We've already discussed getting my old ass a bigger monitor. Or magnify, maybe get a monocle. But I'm not, you know, I don't think a monocle is right. I'm not Dr. Evil, that's for sure. He may have my haircut, but I mean, it looks good, right? So how can I knock his look? All right. So guys, we have a guest coming up for sure, August 30th, Cherry Stoner. We hooked up with her at a few other events we've done, and we saw her most recently at the Lucky Leaf Cannabis Expo. It was a really, really good time. I was so stoked to catch back up, and a few of the people that work with my organization have been walking around with different awesome T-shirts to the point. I'm like, damn, I really wish I would have had a chance to get up and move around a little bit more from our exhibit at that event. It was really, really nice. So, guys, what I'm gonna say is, I mean, like we're within a couple names. I'm not too terribly worried about it. Yeah, we're good to go. We're gonna get this name wheel going. I want to give away some of this wonderful Nova flower that we have here to one of our lucky guests. Maybe, no, you know what? Before we do that, I'm actually going to take one more dab ring. I got my e-nail out. I got a freaking a wad of this grease monkey on one side. We're going to put a wad of this blueberry muffin on the other, and then we're going to blast off. So, here we go. Let's see what happens. I'm pretty sure I know how this story ends. DJ's hanging from a street sign again. Nah, I stopped drinking. That heavy. Those were the 20s for me. Now, if I have more than 3 drinks, I wake up 4 days later like, oh, what the fuck happened to me? Did I get ran over by a train? There we are. Alright, so we got this wheel up here. Let me get a little bit up, y'all, for you guys about my bow wheel height, baby. So, you guys have been given numbers, I assume. We've got a nice little list going on over here. Let's see who's gonna catch some Nova tonight. Ooh, that's one of the ones that didn't get caught. So, one more shot. And hopefully I didn't do that dumb shit again. Alright, we're giving that one, alright, one more. Hold on, we'll go the other way. I want to get a good, clean click. I want to see a good, clean click. There we go. We got a numero 12. So, tonight, number 12, you're the winner. Let's see. Who do we got on number 12? Josh, you are tonight's winner, homie. So drop us a message on the main office line or in the messenger account for this, and we will arrange getting you your prizes, buddy. So enjoy the Nova. It has not been released yet. You absolutely will, and we will get this out there and ready for you guys very, very soon. It's got to go in for its photo shoot because again, I don't rip stock photos. I like these pictures because, you know, at least this gives you the real idea of what it is. So, shit, we got some purples in here. Damn. I gotta get a better look at this one after the show. They got me in some dim light. I got bright lights in my eyes. I can barely see anything. No, I'm kidding. But really, I can't. Let's get one more of this one. See, look at this, man. I'm torching this. I'm fucking wide awake. I'm feeling good. I like this Nova OG. Got a little bit of pep in my step. Oh, I know Josh is here with us. That's a good dude right there. What's up, Mr. Josh? Thanks for hanging out. I assume you wouldn't be too far behind on that. And again, guys, till next week, we will see you then. Every Tuesday, 7:30. Peace out, my gromies.
I'd hate me too if I were you. And when it comes to billions, I'll take 2. It's only one life, you don't get 2. So live life, don't let it live you. I got a pocket full of $100 bills. Put on a jacket, cause these diamonds give you chills.